We're joined with third-year head football coach of the Wilmington Quakers and former NFL defensive back Stacey Hairston on the Roush Honda pregame show. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Let's go back to week one if we can, Coach. An exciting victory over Bluffton to break a 23-game losing streak. Came right down to the wire. If you could, just talk us through the emotions you were feeling after breaking the streak.
Well, it wasn't, really up until that game, I really never thought about the streak. My thing was, we are a team that's rebuilding, and our goal was to take the next step and learn how to win. I think what's beautiful about that game is the fact that we made a lot of mistakes, and we're still able to overcome them, and that's what's very important. And that's a huge step in us to learn how to win, is to be able to overcome those type of mistakes. So it was huge in that sense. And the streak, I never really thought about it until after the game, the guy interviewed me. So how does it feel to break the streak? I said, well, I really never thought about it.
You have two quarterbacks on your roster, Coach, that have seen a lot of playing time. Austin Jarbrough started against Otterbein last year, had some success, and then sophomore Luke Credit, who beat Jarbrough out in camp. We've seen both of them play so far this year. What makes them different types of quarterbacks?
Well, I think Luke comes in and he gives us that type of quarterback that's going to make the right decision and make the right reads and things like that. He's able to run our offense a little bit more consistently, although he is still learning our offense. He's given us the best opportunity to win. Now, Jarbrough, he's a competitive athlete, and he's the one that if things break down, then he can hurt you with his legs. He's very athletic and very mobile in open field. So that's the difference between the two guys.
We've seen both those quarterbacks in week one and week two. Coach, I know you don't want to give away too much of your game plan, but would it be a stretch to say we'll see both of them in week three as well?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think our goal is to use two quarterbacks to the best of our ability. And depending on how they play, will determine if one plays more than the other.
Terrell Starkey's one of the best athletes in the league, Coach. He was first-team All-OAC as a sophomore, playing linebacker, also returned kicks for the Quakers. This year he's moved to defensive back. How's that move gone for him?
Well, I know it gives him opportunity to use his athletic ability. Like you said, he is one of the better athletes in this conference. Our thing is to put him out in space because he's a physical presence. He's a great open field tackler, and he wants to go where the ball is. And I felt that he gives us the best chance. I put him at a position that I have a high need at going into this year. I had a high need at a strong safety that is able to go out there and be physical and make plays.
You were a former defensive back yourself, so it must be nice on his side of things knowing that he's learning from someone who's played the position before.
Yeah, I mean, he's worked very hard this summer trying to turn himself into a defensive back that's playing defensive back versus be a linebacker that's playing defensive back. And the transition for him has been a little slow because there's a lot of things that defensive backs do that are natural instincts as a defensive back that as a former linebacker for him, there's things that he's continued to learn. But one thing's for sure, he's a guy that's going to be wherever the ball is.
Coach, Wilmington coming off a high-scoring loss to Capital last week. When you walked away from that game, what did you see as the biggest need for improvement for the team?
Oh, penalties killed us. I mean, we've had 2 games now. We've had 18 penalties. And not only the fact that we had 18 penalties, but we've had 10 of the bad penalties. That means 10 personal fouls or unsportsmanlike conduct. You just can't do that. And that's what obviously young teams do. They get more penalties than average. And that's one thing that I said we must improve on. That's going forward. That's this week and every week, rest of the season. We got to be a more disciplined football team, and we cannot take those type of penalties because they hurt us, and then it's very hard to recover.
Lastly, Coach, you have coached against Otterbein many times before in your career, both at ONU and now at Wilmington. Based off of previous meetings and scouting reports and film that you've watched, what can you expect to see out of the Cardinals that they do well that could give the Quakers some trouble?
We watched the film from Otterbein's first week this year, which is a little bit surprising that they went out there and they didn't play very well versus a very good Buffalo State. Again, can't take it away from Buffalo State because they are a good football program. But what I saw a difference between week 1 and week 2 was the fact that Otterbein was able to rebound from that first week, and then now we started seeing things that Otterbein was very good at, and that is being able to try to control the ball. And they tried to run the ball 50 times, so they want to establish the run. and then hurt you with the controlled passing game. Then when you try to creep up and take away some of the shorter passes, now they try to hit you over top. I think that they tried to hit a couple of deep ones during the game, and they haven't connected on the real deep one, but they're still able to get some big pass plays last week versus Marietta. So it looks like Otterbein is kind of getting their groove right now, and I think they're going to be a team that's going to give us some issues, make it difficult for us to be successful.
Coach Hairston, thank you so much for joining us on the pregame program. Best of luck to you and the Quakers on Saturday.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful evening.